This video will discuss the basics of creating functions and methods with and without return values in Chapter 5 of Murach. So a method or what we call a method or a function in Java, those you might hear those terms being used interchangeably. A method or a function is just a way to create different blocks of code in your programs. We've already seen examples of using the main method. The main method is the default method for a console application. It's where the program begins. But we can also write other methods to do other work. So we can write, we've seen these used. We use the scanner.nextLine. NextLine is a method inside the scanner function or inside the scanner class. In that case, the scanner.nextLine actually, it takes no parameters. But it does return a string data type. So we can write our own to do this. So we've used those built-in ones, but we're going to learn how to write our own. This is the basic structure that you would get. We're going to use public static methods at this point in the course. Later, as you continue to develop your Java skills, you will use other private and non-static methods and so forth. So, but for this class, mostly going to be public static is what we're going to use here. Then we're going to have methods have a return type. So this is if the method is returning a value, what kind of value is being returned. It has a method name, that what's it going to be called, and it has a parameter list. So if you want to send information into the method that will be used to do the work, then this is the parameter. This is the parameter list. This parameter list is a set of variable definitions. So here's what it looks like when it's actually coded. Private static void. Void means there is no return type. So in this case, we don't have a return statement. So this method will just do some work, will not actually return. And there are no parameters defined here, so we don't have to pass any arguments when we call that. Here's one public static double. This is a public static method. It returns a data type of double. It's called calculate future value. We see this is named using the lower camel case. It takes two parameters. Double monthly investment, three parameters, double monthly investment, double monthly interest rate, and int months. So you see those are defined inside the parentheses right after the method name. Then we have the open block right here and the close block right here for the method. And then then inside we have the actual statements that are being executed in the method. We're defining another variable, we're doing a for loop, and then we're returning a value. In this case, because we declared the method as being double, we have to have a return statement. So in this case, the return is future value. The return sends data back to the calling procedure. So we can see, and we'll see how those can be used. So this is an example of how it's going to be used. When we call a method, we just type in the method name, and then we provide the argument list. So the argument list has to match the parameters that are defined on the method definition. This is how we call one with no arguments. And this is how we call one that passes three arguments. Calculate future value, investment rate, months. The return value this method can be used on the right side of an assignment statement. So the return value for calculate future value is then stored in this variable called future value. Okay, there'll be some additional videos in the module with these examples.